Hello and welcome coders to the Sky Coding. So this is part 2 video of our chapter 7, and in chapter 7 we are covering all of the conditional operators. Okay, so let me show you the script for chapter 7. So we are just covering all of the operators and we have covered till in operator. We have seen all these operators. So part 1 video link will be given in the description box. You can watch part 1 video from there. Okay, so this is part 2 video and we will cover rest of the remaining operators. Let's get started without wasting any time. Okay, so we will cover any and we will also cover all. Okay, as we forgot to written all here. Okay, we are having all operator as well. Any, all, exist, not equal, is not, null, and we will see that how can we just give the alias name as, because that's very important. Okay, so what we have done, we have basically created all of the tables. Okay, so that we can save the time in the video, otherwise video will be more longer. Okay, and rest of the query we will just write in front of you so that you can better understand those things. Okay, so we are just going to use this chapter 7 database, as I have just created chapter 7 database, and we have just basically created the tables. Okay, so that we can perform and we can use these operators on those tables so that your concepts will be more clear. Okay, so first of all we will see about any. Okay, as name suggests that any one of the condition is true, then the result, overall result, will be true. Any, just like or operator, as we are just working in the or operator, if the first condition is true, then also it will show you the result, and if the second condition is true, then also it will show you the result. Any means any one condition should be true. Okay, so these both all and any are logical operators. Okay, logical operators, you can call these as logical operators, and they will return a boolean results. Okay, they will return a boolean results. Okay, so any will result true if any one of the subquery meets the condition. Okay, we will just write a subquery, we will do here, and after that, if any one of the subquery meets the condition which is just set by the user, then it will just return the true. Okay, any means that the condition will be true if the operation is true for any of the values in the given range. Okay, so I have written few points so that you can understand the concept of any, that what is the meaning of any. Okay, so any you can take it as if any one condition of given two condition is true, then it will just return the true value. Okay, and if you talk about the all operators, so all operator means all values should be true in the given condition. Okay, returns true if all of the subquery meets the condition. Okay, all means that the condition will be true only if the operation is true for all values in that range. Okay, but here in any, if any one of the values between that range is true, then it will return the output as true. But here in all operator, if all of the values should be true, then it will just return the true. Okay, so this is just a difference between any and all. Any, you can compare any with or, and you can compare all with and, as while working with the and, we both conditions should be true, then it will just return that query. Okay, but in any is like an or, if any one condition is true, then it will just return the value. So let's do the practical, then you will better understand this thing. Okay, so for this let's for any we will just do any first, then we will see all. Okay, so for that, first of all let me just give you a simple example. Okay, so we are just going to use these tables. Okay, first of all we will use table 1, table 2, then we will use products and orders, then we will use orders and customer table. Okay, we have created these 6 tables. Okay, and we have created this already so that we can save the time. Okay, otherwise if we are going to create the tables in the video, then video will be more lengthy. Okay, that's not a good practice. So first of all, let me show you the data. Select a step from table 1. Okay, so table 1 is having 20, 40 and 60. Okay, and let me show you the columns as well. Okay, table 1. Okay, as in the table 1 I am having only one column, that is number, and the data type of that column is integer. Okay, so let me show you the data again. In the table 1 we are having 3 numbers, 20, 40 and 60. Let me write here 20, 40, and after that we are having 60, 20, 40, 60. Okay, and if you are going to check the data in the table 2, as this is a table 2, in the table 2 as well we are having the same data, but we are having some different numbers. Okay, so let me show you for table 2. In the table 2 we are having 50, we are having 9, and we are having 100. Okay, and both tables metadata is same. Okay, we are having only one column. Okay, describe table 2, so you can see number and data type is integer. Okay, so these are the values which we are having here. Okay, So suppose that if you want to use the any condition here, any one values of this table 1 is greater than table 2, then it will just return all of the results of the table 2. Okay, so we will try to solve out this type of query. Okay, so for that we will just write the query select asterisk from table 1. As I want to fetch all of the data from the table 1, select asterisk from table 1 where, and my column name is number. Okay, you can check here. Okay, my column name is number. Okay, so we will just write like this way, select history from table where number 1 is my column name, where number is greater than and we will write the subquery select asterisk from table 2. Okay, so if you write like this way, then it will just show you those values, and we have to use any operator. Okay, so first of all let's try and run this much query, then we will see what's the difference. Okay, so we are just selecting all of the data from table 1 where number is just greater than with this table 2 query. Okay, so let's run this and let's see what we are getting. What it is, subquery returns more than one row, as it is just returning one row, so we have to use the any operator here. Okay, so let's use any operator here, then let's run this. Okay, so what it has shown, it has shown 20, 40, 60. Why it has shown 20, 40 and 60? Because here in the table 1 we are having these numbers 20, 40, 60, but in our table 2 we are having 50, 90 and 100. Okay, so the this statement returns the true. Okay, so let me write here, this statement boolean value is true. Okay, and it is just giving this output 20, 40, 60. Why it is just returning like this way? Because our table 2 is having these values 50, 90 and 100. Okay, and there is a value in table 2 that is 9, which is less than all of the values from table 1. Okay, that's why it is just returning all of the values from table 1, because 20, 40 and 60 is greater than 9. That's why it is returning all values from table 1. Now let's see one more example, then we will better understand this any operator. Okay, so for that we will use this products table and orders 01 table. Okay, so let me show you the data for both of these tables. Select asterisk from products. Okay, products, and let's see show you the data. So this is products table, and we are having this data Vivo, Oppo, Realme, Redmi. These are products name and these are prices. Okay, and if we will check on another table, that is orders table, as we are just going to perform the subquery here, so that your subquery concepts will also be clear. Okay, so orders 01. Okay, so if you will check in the orders 01, so we are having this for the product ID 1 we are having 100 quantity. Okay, so as if you will check here in the product ID, so for the product ID 1 we are having 10,000 price. Okay, so we will see the joins, as we have not covered joins, so we are not going to see the join here. Joins we will cover in the upcoming videos briefly. Okay, so we are having this thing. Okay, so let's see that how can we just perform the any query here on the basis of price quantity. Okay, so for that we will just simply write the query here, select asterisk from products, select asterisk from products, and what we will do, we will see where product ID. Okay, as product ID is the column name, this column name for this products table. Okay, so where product ID is equals to, and we will just select another data, select product ID from orders table. Okay, orders 01, as we are having this product ID in my orders table as well. Okay, if you will check here, you can see we are having product ID here as well, and we are having product ID here as well in the products table. Okay, so we will see that how much quantity is there for the any specific product ID. Okay, and we will see if quantity is greater than 100, 200. Okay, then we will fetch the data according to that. Okay, so we have write this much, and we will just put the where condition here, where what is my column name for the quantity? We are having this thing quantity. Okay, so where quantity where quantity is you can see where quantity is greater than 100. Okay, you can put these conditions like this. Okay, and here we will just use this any operator. Okay, so let's execute this, and then we will see what output it is giving, then we will understand better. Okay, what it is in table chapter 7 orders. Okay, we are having orders 01, right? Here we are having orders 01. Okay, So let's run this, okay, and see. Okay, you can see wherever there is quantity greater than 100, we got all of those data. Okay, you can see we got all of the data where quantity is greater than 100. Okay, and if you will check here in the orders table, you can see we have the quantity less than 100 for this one only, for the product id 1, and rest of the quantities means 200, 300, 400 is greater than 100. So we got all of the data for the product id 2, 3, 4, means we got all of the data for the Oppo, Realme, Redmi 2, 3, 4. Okay, and we have not got this data for Vivo, because Vivo quantity is less than 100. Okay, you can check here. Okay, you can check here Vivo for the product id 1, we have less than 100, means it is 100. We have not given less than or equals to, that's why it has just skipped this thing 100. Okay, so if we are running this thing, then we can see we got this data. Okay, so if any of the condition is true, then it is working and it is showing the data. Okay, and you can just show you like this way. If you will use here less than, then if you will run this, then it is not showing anything here, because we are not having any of the quantity which is less than 100. Okay, you can see quantity is 100, 200, 300, but there is no any quantity which is less than 100. Okay, and you can just you use like this way, where quantity is equals to 100, so it will show you just this, means product id 1 means Vivo, it will show. Okay, you can see we got Vivo here. In the Vivo we are having quantity is equals to 100. Okay, you can use equals to as well. And if you want to use like this way, greater than 300, then if you will execute this, then we will get Redmi. Okay, you can see for the Redmi quantity is greater than 300. Okay, that is 400. Okay, so by this way you can use the any operator. Okay, so this is all about the any operator, and if you are just going to practice these things regularly, then you will better understand these concepts. Okay, so it's better to practice on your own as well. Okay, by taking some examples from the internet, then you will better understand this anything. Okay, so any operator is just if any one of the condition is true from giving both two conditions, then it will just return that true value. Okay, so for the all we have just described, means both conditions should be true. It is true for all values in the given range. Okay, so all we will just use on this table. Okay, so if you want to use this all, then suppose that I am just selecting product name. Okay, so select product name as my table name is products, select product name from products, and we will just put out the condition. Okay, where true, means where there is a product's name. Okay, so if you will run like this way, then also it will work. Okay, you can see we got all of the products name here. Okay, and if you want to use all here, so you can just like use all here. Okay, select all product name, so it is showing all of the products name. Okay, and if you want to do the subquery here, then you can also use like subquery, select product name from products where product id is equals to, and we will just use all, and we will just select product id from my second table, that is order 01 table, and we will just put the quantity here, where quantity is equals to 100. You can see this thing. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, what it is. Okay, let's put order. You can see we got Vivo, because in Vivo we are having quantity is equals to 100, and if you are going to use smaller than here, then what it is saying, we are not having any quantity which is smaller than, and you can see we got all of the data here. Okay, so all of the conditions should be true. Okay, so this is use of all, means both conditions should be true in all. Okay, so this is all about all, and now we will see that exist operator. Exist operator is used to basically test that whether that particular thing is existing in the table or not. Okay, whether that particular record or particular row is in the table or not. Okay, so exist operator returns true if the subquery returns one or more records. Okay, so this is all about the exist, means if something is existing in the table which we are going to fetch, then it will just return the true, and if that thing is not in the table, then it will just return the false. Okay, so this is all about the exist. Okay, so for exist, what we will do, we are going to use another table, this table customer and orders table we are going to use. Okay, so let me show you the data for customers and orders table. Select a step from customer and let's run. Okay, so in the customer table we are having this data, name, occupation, age, and the customer ID. Okay, and if you want to check the data in the orders table, so in the orders table as well, we are having this data. Okay, in the orders table we are having this data. Customer ID is from this customer table, and these are products name, and these are order dates. Okay, so we will see that we are just going to use this exist operator to find the name and occupation of the customer who has placed at least one order and who has not placed any order. Okay, so we will see on the basis of that. Okay, so if you will check here 101, as this is Peter, and for the Peter ID is 101. Okay, and let's see if Peter has placed any order. Okay, so you can see Peter ID is 101, and he has placed this order for laptop, and order date is there. Okay, so let's write here. Okay, who has placed the order. Okay, so we will see that. Okay, so what we will do, we will just select, you can select the name, or let's select full table. Okay, so select asterisk from customer, and we will use where, and we will use exist keyword here. Okay, exists, where exists, and we will select all of the data. Select asterisk from orders table. Okay, and select asterisk from orders, where customer dot customer ID we will see. Okay, and we are having this cust ID, no? So we will give like this way, customer dot customer cust ID, because we have to tell this query that we are just taking this customer ID from this customer table. That's why we are just writing customer dot customer ID. Okay, because if you will directly write this customer ID, then where it will go and search. Okay, if you are writing like this way by giving the table name dot column name, then it will just go to this customer table and it will fetch the data from there. Okay, where customer ID is equals to orders dot customer ID from the orders table. Orders dot customer ID. Okay, and we will run this. Okay, then it will show you the data. Select asterisk from customer, where exist, if this customer ID is just existing in this order customer, if that customer ID which is in the customer table is exist in the orders table, means orders table, so it will just fetch that data. Okay, and if that is not there, then it will just say, we are just checking this thing where exist. If it is existing, then it will show you the data, and if it is not existing, then the value will be false. So let's run this. Okay, and you can see here. Okay, we are having all of those datas here who has placed the order, means whose customer IDs is present in the orders table. You can see 101, 102, 3, 4 and 6 we got, but we have not got 105, because 105 customer ID is not in the orders table. You can see 105 is not here, because 105 has not placed any order. 105 is carpenter, so he has not placed any order. That's why we have not get that data. Okay, so by this way you can use the where exist condition. Okay, so if you want to see that who has not placed any order, who has not placed any order. Okay, so here we will just give not condition. We will use not exists. Okay, so for that what we will do, let's select this thing and let's paste here. Okay, and instead of this where exist, we will just use where not exist, and we will run this. Then it will just skip all these customer IDs, and it will just show you that customer ID which is not matching, means which is not matching in these tables. Okay, so let's run this. Okay, and you can see we got this 105 and this, and 107 we got. Okay, 107 is having all of the null values. Okay, so 105 and 107 we got, these are the customers who has not placed any order, as 107 ID is just null, and 105 we are having carpenter and he has not placed any order. That's why we got that data. Okay, so you can use this where exist and where not exist. Okay, and if you are using where exist, so you can see we are getting this thing, and if you will run this, then we are getting this thing. Okay, so by this way you can just check out that thing, that whether that particular thing is present in the table or not. Okay, well, let me show you that table again, and you can see we are having 107 and the 7th row is there, but it is not having any of the data for name, occupation, and it is having just a null value. Okay, and if you will check in the orders table, so in the orders table we are not having any of the customer ID for 105 means carpenter, and 107 that is a null value. Okay, So by this way you can use the exist condition. Okay, and let's see how can you use the exist with the delete. Okay, how can you delete something with the exist? Okay, exist delete. Okay, so for that what you can use is you can use delete from orders where exists and we'll just select something, select asterisk from customer where order id is equals to let's see for 3. Okay, where order id is 3. Okay, so by this way you can just use this exist condition for just deleting something. If that thing is present in the table, then that thing will be deleted, and if that thing is not in the table, then it will show you the false value. Okay, so by this way you can use the exist for deleting as well. Okay, so let's run this and let's see. You can see delete is done. Okay, and if you will check the data in the customer table, in the orders table, you can see for the id 3 is being deleted. So by this way you can use this exist condition for just deleting some values. Okay, and you can just, if you want to check whether that a row exists in the table or not. Okay, as exist we are just using for testing that whether that particular thing is present in the table or not. Okay, so if you want to check that thing for the particular row, whether that particular row is present or not. Okay, so for that you can also do like this way. Okay, we will just write select exists and we will just select something, select asterisk from, as my table name is customer where, and you can check for any particular id name. Okay, so suppose that I want to check for 105. Okay, as 104, let's check for 104. Okay, and let's run this. Okay, so if it is there, then it is showing like this. Okay, and you can give any alias name as my tb. Okay, so this is the alias name. You can see my tb. Okay, so you can see we got this thing. Okay, 1, if it is returning 1 means it is just present. Okay, and if you will write here 120. Okay, and if you will run this, then it is returning 0. 0 means false. Okay, as we have discussed this thing while working with the boolean. Okay, 1 is representing for true, and all of the non-zero values means 1 2 3 4 is returning for the true, and if it is a 0, then it is returning false. As 120 is not there in the table, that's why it is returning 0. Okay, so by this way you can use exist for checking any row, and for deleting, and for just checking the data or particular row present in the table or not. Okay, so this is about this thing. Let's see about MySQL not conditions. Not is just the opposite of in. Okay, if that thing is not there. Okay, so we are just using not for that thing. Okay, so let's write here select asterisk from customer, select asterisk from customer where, and let's select the data from the customer, and let's see what are the columns. Okay, we are having name column, right? Select asterisk from customer where name, and earlier we are using where name in, and we are just writing the name. Let's write the name for Peter, and let's write another name is Joseph. Okay, SEPH. Okay, Joseph. Okay, so if these names are present in the table, then it will show you those names. Okay, you can see it has shown all of the data for those particular names. Okay, and for not, we have to just simply use not in. Okay, so it will skip these records Peter and Joseph, and it will show all of the rest remaining records. Okay, so by this way you can use this not for not condition, as not is just the opposite for in. If you are just using in, so if this thing is present in the table, then it will show you that thing, and if you are using not, then it will just skip this thing, these names, and it will show you rest of the data. Okay, and you can use the not operator with not null condition as well. Okay, so let's write here not with in. Okay, and you can use this not with null, not with is null. Okay, if the value is null, then it will show you that thing. Okay, so for that let me copy the same thing here. Okay, let me copy the same. Okay, if it is copied, or let's copy. Okay, and let's paste here. Okay, select asterisk from customer where name is not null. We will just write here. Okay, where name is not null, name is not null. Okay, so here you can see, here we are having one name is null. Okay, if you will check the data in the customer table, let me show you the data in the customer table, right? Select asterisk from customer. Okay, and you can see in the customer table we are having null values for 107 employee ID, so it will just skip that thing and it will show you that thing. Okay, so you can see we got only 6 rows here because 107 ID is null. Okay, so by this way you can just this is just a simple English. Okay, as we are here we are selecting values from the customer where name is not null. Okay, where name is not null, then it will show all of those values. Okay, and if you want to use that name is null, so it will show you the data for 107. You can see where name is null, it is showing that thing. Okay, so by this way you can use is null or is not null. Okay, and we are having one more thing, you can use the like operator as well. Okay, not with like operator. Okay, you can use not with like operator as well. Let's copy, let's paste here, select string from customer where name, as earlier we are just writing like this way, where name like as we are having Joseph, right? So we will write this thing. Okay, so let's run this and you can see we got all of the names whose are starting with J. So we got Joseph and John. Okay, earlier we are using like this, and you can use like this where name not where name not like. Okay, where name not like. Okay, so it will just negate that thing and it will just show you all of the names whose are not starting with J. Okay, so it will skip all of the names whose are starting with J and it will show you all of the rest remaining names who are not starting from the J. Okay, so you can use this thing like this way. You can use with like operator, and the last thing is you can use with not with, you can use with between we will see later on. Okay, we have not covered between and not null. Okay, so you can use this thing with not null as well. Okay, so you can use here where this time we will use another column, that is customer ID not between, and you can put anything here, 1 and okay, let's remove the braces, 1 and 5 or like that. Okay, you can see where customer ID is not between 1 5 2. Okay, oh, no, we are having 101. Okay, 101 and 105. Okay, so let's run this and you can see it is showing rest values, it is just skipping these IDs. Okay, so by this way you can use the not is just a negation of in operator. Okay, so now till here we have done all of these operators. Basically we have covered any, all, exist and not. Okay, so now we are left with not equal, is null, is not null, between and alias. Okay, so let's move to our fifth operator, that is not equal. Okay, so let's remove the blank spaces from here and let's see not equal operator. Okay, so all these operators which are remaining, not equal, not null, is null, okay, between and alias, these are very simple operators. Okay, so for not equal, basically not equal is used to return a set of rows from a table and they will make sure that two expressions placed on either side of the query are not equal. Okay, so basically not equal means both the operators wherever we are using not equal, they will just ensure that either side of the query is not equal. Okay, so let me write here placed either side of the not equal to. Okay, so basically what are available not equal to operators to us in MySQL? We can use this less than, greater than, or we can use this thing not equals to, for not equals to. Okay, so let's see one example, then we will better understand this thing. Okay, so let's specify this as comment and this one as well. And now let me first of all check the data in the customers table. Okay, because we are just going to perform all these operations on this customer and orders table only. Okay, we will basically take this customer table only for performing these operators. Okay, so because if we will create a separate tables, then it will be just difficult for us to understand. Okay, so that we are just using this customer table for performing all these operators. Okay, so let's check the data in the customer table. First select asterisk from customer and we are having this data, right, engineer and all those things, and 107 is null. Okay, so suppose that I want to check the data based on this not equals to operator. Okay, so I will suppose that you want to check the names. Okay, so let's select all of the data, select asterisk from customer and let's put where clause here, where, and we are having occupation here. Okay, occupation, right, occupation is not equals to. Okay, earlier what we are doing, we are just giving this like this way. Okay, and we are just writing our value here. Okay, so let's check the occupation in the table first. Okay, so we are having occupation as engineer, developer, leader, scientist, carpenter. Okay, so let's suppose for actor. Okay, where occupation is actor, so if you will write here actor, then it will show you that data for actor. You can see we got actor. Okay, and suppose that you want to use the not equal, so you have to just simply put these two operators here for smaller than and greater than. Okay, and after that you have to just execute. Then what it will do, it will not show the value for actor, and apart from this actor occupation, it will show all of the remaining values. Okay, so let's check. You can see here we have not got this actor, and apart from this actor we got engineer, developer, leader, scientist, carpenter. Okay, so actor is being just skipped from the fetched query. Okay, so this is for not equals to. You can use this thing, or simply you can use another operator as well for not equals to. Both will just produce the same result of the query. Okay, you can use this thing as well. You can simply put this and exclamation mark, and you can put equals to. Okay, so if you will do like this way as well, then also it will just produce the same results. Okay, you can see this one 95 line 1 is also producing the same results, and this 96 line is also producing the same results. Okay, and suppose that you don't want for actor, you want for developer, so you can write developer, so it will just skip the developer record and it will show all of the rest remaining records. Okay, the work for this not equals to means whatever value you don't want in the fetched query, means you want to skip that, you have to just write here, and apart from that thing, rest all of the things will be shown in the fetched query. Okay, so this is a work of not equals to. Okay, and guys, you can use a not equals to with and using and, in, and between operator as well. Okay, so let me quickly tell you that how can you use this not operator with and in operator. Okay, so let's write here with and using in operator. Okay, with and using in operator we will see. Okay, so for that let's copy the thing from here. Same query we will use, select text from customer where occupation is not equals to a developer, and we will use here one thing. Okay, let's check the data in the customer table, and let's use age here. Okay, where age will be between something. Okay, so we will just use our age column. Okay, and we will just write here where age in, and we can write here 28 to 30. Okay, 28 to 30, right? We will write here where age is 28 comma 30. Okay, as we are just using in operator or operator for just checking that whether that data is present in the table or not. Okay, so if we will just execute this thing, then it will show you the data where age is between 28 and 30. Okay, and why it has not shown a 30, so let's check the data first in the customer table, that whose customer id is having age as 28 and 30 in between. Okay, so 28 is for John, so we got John. Okay, but here we have written 30, but it is not showing 30 here. Why it is not showing 30 here? Because we have written here this condition that occupation should not be developer, as here age is just 30. This condition is true here. If you will take age example, then this condition is true, age is 30, so this data should be shown in the first query, but it is not showing there. Why it is not showing there? Because here occupation is not developer. We have written here one condition that occupation should not be developer, but here occupation is developer, that's why this data is being skipped. Okay, and if you will write here age is 20, 30 and 45. Okay, and let's run this. Okay, then it will show for 45 and 28, but it has skipped 30 because here occupation is developer. Okay, and if we will change this developer to actor, then it will show for developer. You can see we got all the data for 28, 30 and 45, because here occupation is not developer, we have removed and we have just put actor here. Okay, so if you will just write here actor customer id, then actor will be just skipped. Okay, so actor age is 25. Okay, so if we will write here 25, then 25 will be skipped because here condition is going true, but here we have written occupation should not be equals to actor. Okay, so by this way you can use not operator with in and operator. Okay, and you can use with not between as well.
Okay, we will see between later on. Okay, so for that what we will do, we will just simply copy the same thing and we will paste here. And suppose that select history from customer where occupation is not equals to actor and age, and instead of this in operator we will simply write age between, and you can write age between 28 and 30. Earlier we are doing like this way. Okay, if you want to use the between operator, then you can use like this way. So it will show all of the data where age will be between to 20 and 30 and occupation should not be actor. Okay, and you can use it not between. So not between, you can just simply put not here, so it will not show you all of not show you the data of these 28 and 30. It will skip that and it will show rest of the data. You can see here age is not between 28 and 30. Okay, 32 for 26. Okay, so by this way you can use between, not between as well. Okay, so this is all about not equals to, that how can you use the not equals to. Okay, not equals to is just a negation. Okay, and if you want to use this MySQL is null, it's a very simple. It will just check if the null value is in the table. It will just check if there is any null value in the table, then it will show you that thing. Okay, so let's see that thing. Select asterisk from a customer where name is null. Okay, as in my table we are having one null value, right? I have shown you that for 107 employee id. Okay, let me show you again that thing. Okay, so you can see this is my customer table and we are having 107 employee 107 customer id, and we are not having any name, occupation and age. Okay, all are null values. Okay, so if you will run this null value null conditional operator, then it will show you just data for 107 employee id. Let's run this and you can see it has shown all of the rows where name is null. Okay, you can see we got this thing. Okay, so null is just a simple. Okay, and if you want to use not null, then it will just check for not null in the table where there is not null value. Where means where there is a value, then it will show you that row where value is present. Okay, and if any column is having null values in the table, then it will skip that column. Okay, so where name is not null, if you will run like this way, then it will show you all of the 6 rows, but it will skip the 7th row where value is null. Okay, so if you will run this, then you can see we got all of the data, but 107 customer id is skipped because there we are having name as null. Okay, so this is the difference between is null and is not null. You can see here we are getting only null values a row. Here we are getting where we are having the data, but it is just skipping the null values. Okay, so this is how you can use is null and is not null. And now we are left with MySQL between. Okay, so between is just used with between. Suppose that you want to get some data, you want to fetch some data on in a specific range. Okay, so let's write here retrieve values between specific range. Okay, specific range. Suppose that you want to fetch the data based on some condition, based on some specific range. Okay, so you can do that thing as well. Okay, so let's write first thing. First of all we will see with some numeric value. Okay, so let's write here numeric value. How can we use the between using some numeric value? So let's write the query. Okay, select asterisk from customer where, and this time we will use customer id, and we will just use between, and you can give 101 and 1056. You can give like this. Okay, so if you will run this, it will show you all of the data, means all of the customer ids between 101 to 105. You can see we got. Okay, and if you will change this to 103, so it will show till 103. Okay, so this we are giving the range here. Okay, this thing we have done here. Okay, in the not equals to operator which we are doing. Okay, you can see here we are giving the range. Okay, so this is the range in which range you want to fetch the data. Okay, so this is by which you can use the numeric values by using the between operator. And you can use let me tell you one most important thing about this between operator. If you want to use the between operator with some dates, okay, so how can you do that thing? Okay, so for that let's write here. Okay, let's give some space here so that it can specify it as comment condition with date. Okay, so how can you do that? Okay, so for this we will use some another table where we are having date. Okay, as in the customer table, let's check in the customer table. As in the customer table, we are not having any date column. Okay, you can see we are not having any date column, but in the orders table we are having one date column, that is order date. You can see in the orders table we are having this date column as order date. So we will just use this table, orders table, and we will use this column order date, and we will try to fetch the data based on some specific day. Suppose that I want to check the data, means how many customers has put and order for some specific day. Suppose that from 10 December 2020 to 10 December 2020 to 20 December 2021 22, like that way you can give any random dates. Okay, so here we will just try to fetch the data who has placed the order from 10 January 2020 to 12 February 2020. Okay, we will just try to fetch the data based on some specific range using dates. Okay, we will use date column basically. Okay, so for that we will just write the query here, select asterisk from orders. Okay, as we are using orders table, where order date is my column name, you can see, of the order table. Okay, where order date between, and we will just give date. Okay, so as I have already told you many times that by default whenever you have to write any of the date and you want to enter date in any of the table, you have to use the default format of MySQL for entering the date. So the default format for entering the date in MySQL is year, month, day. First of all, you have to write year, then month, then day. Okay, this is the default format. Okay, so between suppose that I want to check the data of the orders between this date. Okay, so let's write 2020 and 01 for January, and the day is 10. So 10 January 2020. Okay, and after that you have to use AND operator, and you have to put the second range, means till which date you want to check the data. Okay, so I want to check the data till you can give any dates. Okay, there is no need that you have to write the same dates which are available here. Okay, in the table. Okay, so suppose that I am giving 2020, and suppose that I am giving March. Okay, March 2000, March, and let me give 01. Okay, you can give any date. Okay, there is no need that you have to give the same dates which are present in the table. Okay, as here we have written 10 January 2020, you can just change this to a 01 as well. Okay, so it is just 1 January 2020 to 1 March 2020. Okay, so it will just show you all of the orders between these dates. Okay, so in between these dates we are having these two orders. This is 10 January 2020 is coming between these dates, and this 12 February 2020 is coming between these dates, and this is for 5 March and this is for 20 March. Okay, so if you will run this, it will show you these two datas. Okay, for 10 January and 12 February. Okay, so let's run this and let's see what output we are getting. Okay, so let's run this, and you can see we got all of the data, all of the order details which are put between these dates, these specific dates. Okay, and if you will change this to a 5, okay, then it will show you one more row. Okay, because this is for 5. Okay, and if you will change this to a 6, okay, then also it will show you 3 rows over here. Okay, means there is no need that you have to give the same dates here as well. Okay, you can write any random dates, then it will show you all of the data between those specific dates. Okay, so by this way you can use this operator between any dates. Okay, and alias is just a simple name. That this is I am telling you for joining. Okay, because whenever we will do joining and whenever we will work on the complex queries, then we will need to write the alias name as well. So alias is just a simple name. Okay, so suppose that you want to put alias name. Okay, select suppose that I want to select fetch name. Okay, select name from cu- customer. Okay, so let's see names. So we are having these names. Okay, so suppose that you want to give alias name for this name column. Okay, so you have to use as keyword, and you have to write here customer name. Okay, so the new table will be shown here in the first query, whereas here you can see here we are getting name column and we are getting all of the names. But whenever you will run this query, then in place of this name we will get one alias name as customer name. Okay, you can run this and you can see we are getting customer name here. Okay, so you can give the alias name like this way by putting the s keyword. Okay, So this is all about this alias, that how can you give the alias. Okay, so this is all about this video, and we have covered all of the operators: is null, is not null, between, alias, not equals to. Okay, so we have covered all of the operators: any, all, exist, not null, not equal, is null, is not equal, between, and alias. Okay, you can see we have created all the tables and we have seen all these. Okay, so guys, that's all for today's session, and if you are facing any type of doubt, then you can ask me. I will surely help you out there, and all of these scripts will be uploaded in the GitHub account. You can download from there, or you can join my WhatsApp group as well. The link will be given in the description box. So till now we have covered all of the operators and conditional operators and logical operators, comparison operators. We have covered all of the operators. Okay, so from the next session we will just work on the clauses. Clauses is a very important concept. Okay, we will see all of the clauses, group by, having, okay, order by. Okay, we will see all of the clauses by using these conditional operators. Okay, so that's all for today's session, and part 1 video link is given in the description. If you have not watched that, you can watch from description box. Bye, we will meet in the chapter 8 and the clauses video. That's all.